Welcome, hello, Yasu, and hi. My name is Tai Körner, and today's video is about empathic gift daily travel. This is something I'm talking about deep from my soul, because if you are born with an empathic gift, so sensing people, sensing energy streams or entities or whatever, it clearly gets an impact on your life. And it is how you challenge it to do your best way possible about. And this is what I'm talking about today. So before I get into this, I always introduce again. My name is Tai Körner, and I'm an author. I'm a natural born empath. Since a few years, I'm working on the Clifford, and I am a member of the Order Dragon Rouge, so a student of the Order, not a representative. If you got any questions there, you find a link down below. And also, I am hard working on sorting my energy streams, my perceptions, how I can unfold it, control it to my best benefit and to the best benefit to the people around me. So, what is the empath gift itself? So let's start from the beginning. You got a sensation. You got a sensation about things that will happen in future, or that are happening right now, or what other people are feeling. Some people also own a telepathic gift, for example, so they just catch up some words, for example, or they are able to send some words so other people get, I was just up to call this one. So these are skills. This is no spell on you. It is a skill, it is a gift, and in most cases you did work on this for lifetimes until you were born now and until you were faced to it now. So but you fall into this life and you start percepting things, or maybe you did rituals and you did evolve, and in this evolution you were not prepared to what is happening to you, what is same as if you're born with it. So there are basically two strategies people are working with it. Either they say, I'm not seeing it, I'm not seeing it, I'm not seeing it, and they try to block it totally out. Problem is, then you get a little icy. You don't percept the things around you in a way you should do, in a way you could do, and for what you did work all your lives before. The other one is the one who is just open, and he is trying or she is trying to suck in all the informations. But the human brain is not capable to translate everything into words. So of course you will learn it, but to the human mind it's a near to crazy perception if you get all the informations at once and you get a kind of an overload. So there are some things to take care on if you're working with your gifts. Let's start on this overload. You will develop the skill to see things happening. I don't mean in a visual way. I mean it in a way you just know it. Just there is a hook on this. If you got an over impact of informations, so at the family or at home or at work, you sense the emotions of the people. You hear what they are talking about. You see how they move, how they interact, and all this gets together. I don't even mean politics or society. I only mean your private surroundings. And you just observe what is happening. So you get a huge wave of informations. Everything you see is connected in your mind. And then it starts to combine. And you start to see things rolling. so you can see in which direction it is rolling. But if you got an overload of information, you you probably get a wrong understanding of what is happening, and you probably are rating the impacts in a wrong way. So you can think there is one thing happening, and you're controlling it. You're trying to be prepared for that thing. Now what is happening, let's say there is a job cancelled, and now you just get busy to get a new job. And but it could be that you just got an information wrong. Or on another point, if you got a good friend, and you know everyone has a bad mood now and then, and you just get it wrong because you got all this informations, but as you are walking through a raging flood of informations, they are just rushing by. So if you don't get it in just that moment, this part of information, what would have been important to you to see, there is something else happening. Whatever, the nephew died, or he just lost the car because whatever, it was stolen, or and you don't know about. So if you don't know about, you cannot put it into your calculation. And if you don't see it, there is one fragment in your matrix missing. You know where I want to go to. So this is when an overload happens. The same is happening if you say, I am born sensing people, but I don't want to feel that. I feel bothered by feeling all these people around me, by feeling they are not well, they are sick, they are afraid, they are scared, whatever. And probably you want to isolate from this. You can do so, but it is like a castration. Why should you give away a gift that you did work so long for? What you probably did work for all your lives before. It's like as if you say you can walk but you cut off your feet. That's stupid, it is. So but if you really want to do this, you are indeed able to isolate yourself. So now what is happening? First of all, you are not able to read people anymore. So this is not just in a way of I don't want to feel you. It is also in a way of I cannot feel you. So in mundane, simple situations, you will not understand what another person is telling you, because you are cutting down all the frequencies which are belonging to this conversation. And there is the problem about the empathic gifts in total. If you go into extreme, so into opening too wide and overload, or into isolating totally, it is always unhealthy, because the standard human communication is combined by outer physical senses, which are not sorted to the physical body. So science are telling you're seeing, you hear, you speak, and whatever. But they do not calculate that if you're talking to people, you are you should look into their eyes. You should listen to their tone of voice. You should hear the body language, etc., etc. And this is just perception of eyes or perception of ears. And there is another small balance below this, which is alarming you. Okay, that's a liar, or he's telling true, or there's something else behind that, what he's telling now. So this is when your gifts come into game, what everyone owns, but in a very subconscious way. So if you have a natural empathic gift, this subconscious way of percepting your surrounding is naturally pushed or by your work pushed, and so it is a natural gift. You just have to learn to balance it. And to me, one key was finding this balance. And this is why I also got myself into this studyship, and why I do work on this gift every day. And I can also tell about the isolating of emotions. And if I may give you a slight warning about, good luck. I did do. I did block my emotions once. When I lost my son, it was unbearable to me to even see a mother holding a child, for example. And this pain was so deep that deeply tearing apart me, um, I I made myself not feeling anymore. I did cut myself from my empathic gifts. It was about 8 years later when all this came rolling back to me. And I can only tell you, you don't want that wave rolling over you. But if you want to block it, and if you, I say you have to feel it your way if you want to do it. I just can give you a warning. I would not do so. I would not advise to do so. So, however, there is always a need of balance. So not cut down entirely, not over push everything. You need a balance in between. And there is one healthy thing you can do, is questioning yourself. Questioning yourself is when you see something and you are convinced about, I know, if this happens and now that happens, this will be the thing happening. It could be. So keep your eye on and learn about, follow up the happenings, but always be prepared. You might be totally on the wrong track. You might be totally um, confused about something you saw, or you might lack informations. And so no, never consider you got the news. Just probably you got the news. So make your notes, take a magic diary, whatever. Just note down what you see. And then you can follow up. Am I right or not? But be prepared. It could turn out to be totally different. And there is also the point about ego, what I told now and then. It is important on one page to gut an own personality, to gut an own ego in a way, so you know you are you and you're percepting everything around you. That's one thing. Also, you are the one who is also impacting the energy around you. So if you are in a family, in a working situation, whatever, you are percepting the overall energy field in your surrounding, but your energy is impacting this energy as well. So you are a fragment of everything what is happening. Goes into a deeper topic, and I will dig into in some other videos again. But this is what is about ego. You have to be conscious that you are on the one side the observer, and on the other side you are the one who is just a little fragment in all this stream what is unfolding. So I will give you some exercises in next videos, how to exercise your gifts and how to low down the impact of your gifts, because there are sometimes happenings you really need to low down it. Because if you got something and you say, okay, now that is happening, and fuck, that hurts. It is a very good idea to first go back 5 steps, get a little higher position, look down again, try to observe again, because you could be wrong. And if you think, wow, that's great, and now I grab all my money and spend it into it, and I will do that, sounds very pushed. And in most cases, it is pushed like that. So also there, take 5 steps back, get a higher position, check it again. I will get into this in another video. For today, just if you got an empathic gift since birth, I know it is a damn trouble in daily life, because you don't only hear the word, you don't only get your things done and walk home. You work it out in dreams, you work it out in visions, you work it out in energy impacts you take home, and you also influence it by the opinions you did develop from observing the situation. You create an energy, and this energy you put into this situation as well. So you are the running impact on a thing that is happening, and what is causing trouble or leading a beneficial direction. And this is causing troubles, but it is a gift. And I would love everyone of you to explore this gift and not to just cut it down. So over and out for today. Next video, I guess we get into blocks at first. So have a nice day, and bye bye.